Hello everyone, Silver here, and welcome to the first video in a new series of videos introducing you to one of my all-time favorite games, FreeSpace 2. It is a space combat sim, a genre of game that was quite popular in the 90s but saw a massive decline in the early 2000s. Unlike more modern space sims like Elite Dangerous or the maybe upcoming Star Citizen, which rely quite heavily on freedom of choice, like what style of game you want. You can play as an explorer, as a merchant, as a mercenary. Those older space combat sims were more straightforward, focused on action. You play as a combat pilot for fighters and bombers and play through a series of missions of various objectives, but it's always focused on action and combat. FreeSpace 2 is a sequel to a game called Conflict FreeSpace: The Great War or Descent FreeSpace: The Great War in the US, which came out in 1998. So the sequel came out just about a year later, but it improved greatly in terms of graphics and game engine. So right now I can imagine two questions popping up in your head. First, why the hell does he talk about a game that is over 20 years old? And two, why does the graphics in the video doesn't look like it's over 20 years old? The answer to both questions lies in FreeSpace 2's unique history after its release. When it came out in 1999, it was praised by critics but only had mediocre sales, which can be attributed to a series of different factors, none of which mattered for the moment. Although it wasn't a total financial disaster, it was not enough for the publisher to order another sequel. So there was no more FreeSpace coming out after that. The game did, however, spawn a very loyal community, in part due to the fact that the developer Volition added an editor to the released game, which allows the fans to create their own missions and campaigns for the game. And so they did, which led to the creation of more FreeSpace content even after the developers stopped developing this game. Then a few years later something happened which is quite rare in the games industry. Volition, the developer, released the entire source code for the game engine under a non-commercial open source license and gave it to the community. The community then founded the FreeSpace Source Code Project, or SCP, a community dedicated to maintaining and extending the FreeSpace game engine, and that's exactly what they have been doing ever since. Which is also the reason why the game doesn't look like it's over 20 years old. The SCP community has for the last 18 years been constantly maintaining and upgrading the game's engine to not only be compatible with modern hardware and operation systems, but also to use the capabilities of modern graphic cards. That includes, for example, more complex models, high-resolution textures, lightning effects, particle effects, and so on. So as you can see, the game can definitely compete with games that are far newer than the original FreeSpace 2 was. But not only the graphics capabilities were improved, also the gameplay mechanics were improved, and the editor that was already released by Volition was also updated. So with all these options, the community could create even more elaborate and complex campaigns of their own, and so they did. There's quite a number of user-made campaigns that not only rival the campaign originally published by Volition, but even surpassing this campaign in terms of quality of gameplay, voice acting and storytelling. So you can clearly see why this game, even after over 20 years, still has appeal to its loyal fanbase. And that's the reason why I still play this game regularly and why I talk about it today. Because creating a user-made campaign is something that I've been wanting to make for quite a while now. And that is exactly the side project I mentioned in my video about my creative break with my cocktail videos. Creating a high quality FreeSpace 2 user-made campaign. That will be my project for the next weeks and months, and this project also has the opportunity for you to contribute. Because creating such a campaign, especially if you have quality targets, is a lot of work. You need someone to script the missions, create some animations for the briefings, that it looks nice, and of course someone has to play test the whole thing so you can get rid of any bugs that are in it. And if you want to be top-notch, you also need some voice acting for all the dialogues in the campaign. So it's a lot of work, something which I cannot do alone. So in the next video I will tell you what my project is about in more detail and what is needed if you want to contribute to it. So if you're interested in joining me in this endeavor, please leave a comment below, and as I said, more information on how all of this will be organized and what it is about will follow soon. Alright, that's enough for the moment. Thank you so far for watching. Please stay tuned for more information coming out soon, and until then, stay safe, take care, and goodbye.